Welcome, curious minds. Today, we're venturing into some really unsettling territory. We're exploring these chilling, real-life close encounters with extreme danger. You know, those moments when ordinary lives just brush terrifyingly close to, well, the unthinkable. Our mission in this deep dive isn't just about recounting these tales, though they are compelling. We want to unpack the crucial details, the split-second decisions that made the difference between life and death, and maybe see what they reveal about intuition, about randomness, and the hidden dangers that can sometimes lurk right in plain sight. We're drawing from first-hand accounts today, and they will certainly make you look at your surroundings, well, a little differently. Okay, so this first story, it begins back in 1978. It involves a lively party hosted by someone's close family friends, people they actually thought of as their grandparents. You know, the kind of thing, neighbors, friends, all gathered, going late into the night. And among the guests, there was this couple, a husband and wife. They decided to leave a bit early. They had plans. It was the wife's birthday the next day, so they wanted to get home. They just walked. It wasn't far from the party. But the next morning, the planned celebration, it just turned into horror. Their family arrived at the house and they discovered the couple dead. Victims of a truly brutal home invasion, shot multiple times. The shock, the devastation just rippled through the family, the whole neighborhood. Everyone was reeling. Then, months later, these awful murders were linked to other cases from that year. All shared this one grim detail. The victims were shot with a .22 caliber pistol. The break in the case, it came from a mistake, actually. One of the perpetrators messed up. He got caught trying to use a credit card belonging to a more recent victim. And that slip-up, it led investigators straight to two brothers. Under questioning, they confessed, not just to killing the couple who left the party early, but to killing 8 other people as well.
It's just stark, isn't it? How these threads of violence can connect seemingly random acts, and how one relatively minor mistake, like using a stolen card, can completely unravel this whole hidden pattern of terror. It shows you how fragile that kind of secrecy can be.
But here's where it gets even colder. A detail that came out during the trial. The brothers confessed that the storyteller's grandparents, the hosts of the party, they were the original targets, not the neighbors who left early. You see, the grandparents' house was the biggest on the block, kind of secluded. They'd been watching it. They'd planned the attack for that exact night. But when they arrived, well, there was a party going on, full swing. So they waited outside, just waited for everyone to leave.
Yeah.
But hours passed, and they apparently got impatient. And then they saw the neighbors, the husband and wife, leaving the party early, walking home. And just like that, driven by impatience, they switched targets, decided to follow them instead.
That right there, that's the terrifying randomness of it all, isn't it? A simple change in plan, purely because they got tired of waiting. And it completely diverted this horrifying event from one family to another, changed everything. It's just a really stark illustration of how close we can unknowingly come to something truly awful, how a split-second decision by someone else can put you right in the path of danger or pull you out of it.
Both brothers, thankfully, spent the rest of their lives in jail. A small comfort, I suppose, in such a devastating story. The sheer randomness there is chilling. Now, let's shift gears a bit to a different kind of close call. This one is less about shifting targets and more about, well, trusting a gut feeling. Okay, this next story happened more recently, about a year ago, mid-October. Picture this. A dark, tree-lined road, late at night. There's a driver. Her friend is passed out in the passenger seat, maybe had a few too many drinks, and another friend is in the back just playing on her phone. They're heading home after visiting a high school friend, about an hour outside the city. It's quiet, just the car, maybe some soft radio, dark road, lots of trees, and then bam, a really violent jolt, like they hit something hard. The friend in the back screams, front passenger, still completely out of it. Driver slams on the brakes, car skids a little. Friend in the back looks out, gasps, and says, "Oh my God, we hit a dog." And sure enough, maybe a few yards back, there's a large dog lying in the road. Looked like a golden retriever, something like that. But right away, the driver gets this weird feeling. Something's off. She knows she's a careful driver, always watching the road. And even though it was dark, she's certain she didn't see a dog. Nothing crossed in front of her headlights.
And that feeling, that discrepancy, that's huge. It's when your memory, your expectation of reality clashes hard with what you're actually seeing. It's like your brain's alarm system going off saying, "Danger, Will Robinson, this doesn't make sense," long before you consciously know why.
And here's the detail that really sealed it. It's kind of subtle, but chilling. As the driver's looking back, maybe in the glow of the taillight, she notices the dog's tail. It's wagging. And instantly she thinks, why on earth would a dog that just got hit by a car be wagging its tail?
That's fascinating, isn't it? Focusing on such a small, unnatural detail in a high-stress moment. The ability to not just see it, but process it that's wrong and then act. That's a critical survival instinct. It immediately suggests something else is going on, something performative, like a predatory tactic, a lure.
Exactly. The driver didn't even think twice. Her friend in the back is saying, go back, we have to help it. But the driver just hits the gas, floors it, says, no, something's really wrong here. They're kind of arguing, and then suddenly the friend in the back goes quiet. She's looking out the back window. What the? She mutters. The driver glances in the rearview mirror. It's dark, but she can see them. Silhouettes. 3 large figures stepping out from the trees by the side of the road. And the dog, the one that was supposedly injured, is up on its feet, jumping around like it's playing. Happy. The figures just watched them as they sped away. The car was silent the rest of the way home. Just stunned silence. They didn't even tell the friend who'd been asleep until a few days later. Now, they still visit that friend, but they always, always leave before sunset. And they're left with that awful feeling, how did the car jolt like that? And what if they had gotten out?
It's a textbook example of how deception can be weaponized, really. Turning what looks like an accident, something that pulls at your empathy, into a trap. And it just hammers home that point about trusting your instincts. Even when they seem irrational, even when someone else is telling you you're wrong, sometimes that gut feeling is the only warning you'll get. Imagine if she hadn't listened to it.
That power of intuition. It's remarkable. Okay, our final story tonight takes us back again, this time to 1977. Another chilling winter night. And this one involves a family facing a threat that just keeps getting closer, silently. It's a mom, a dad, and their little brother. Driving home late, they just picked the brother up from a friend's house. As they're leaving that neighborhood, they see a man walking out of the woods. He's holding a shotgun. He gets into a van, parked on the side of the road. Now, initially, the dad thinks, okay, maybe a poacher. It's rural-ish. He just keeps driving, doesn't think much of it. But then they get onto the main road, and the van pulls out too, right behind them. And it stays there. When they turn, the van turns. It quickly becomes very, very clear they're being followed, tailed. They pull into their housing development. It's brand new, still being built. In fact, their house is the only one finished and occupied on their little cul-de-sac. So it's pitch black, freezing cold, no streetlights yet, totally isolated. And then the van follows them right into the cul-de-sac and pulls into their driveway. Right behind their car, blocks them in.
Wow, you can just feel the dread escalating there, can't you? The sense of intrusion gets more and more intense as the distance closes. And that isolation, being the only house, no lights, no potential witnesses, it just amplifies the vulnerability tenfold. It's a psychological trap as much as a physical one.
And the father's reaction, it's incredible, really. He doesn't panic, doesn't yell. He immediately gets out of the car, tells his wife, get him in the house, lock the door.
Yeah.
She and the son scramble inside, lock it up. And the dad, he just walks to the front of his own car, turns around, and stands there, staring at the man in the van. No words, no threats, just silent, intense waiting, staring him down. Now, a little context on the dad helps here. He'd apparently gotten a full football scholarship to college, dropped it. What? To volunteer for Vietnam. Spent a year in a ranger camp because, he apparently said, he was just bored. So this was a physically imposing guy, someone with a real presence, someone you probably just didn't want to mess with.
That's just, wow. The power of pure presence, of sheer unyielding stance. It wasn't about physical fighting at that moment. It was entirely psychological. One man's quiet determination, his absolute refusal to be intimidated, just radiated out. It shows that strength isn't always loud, is it? Sometimes just standing your ground, projecting that don't even think about his aura is enough. It becomes a test of nerve. Does the aggressor really want to push this?
And apparently, the answer was no. Without a single word being exchanged between them, the man in the van put his vehicle in reverse, backed out of the driveway, and just drove away into the dark. Unbelievable, right? But wait, the story isn't quite over. The next morning, the news is reporting a murder. A man had been killed the night before. Shotgun. Through the living room window. Died right there on the floor. Where? In the exact same housing plan where the parents had picked up their son, just a street away from the friend's house. And the victim's wife, she tried to run. The killer chased her through the woods. Her body was found hours later. Where? In the same patch of woods where the parents had first seen the man with the shotgun emerge. And the killer, they identified him. Edward Surratt, a known serial killer.
My God. That just sends chills down your spine. It connects everything, doesn't it? It shows how incredibly, terrifyingly close that family came to pure evil. They drove right past an active murder scene, potentially encountered the killer moments after, were followed by him, and they had no idea of the larger, horrific context they'd stumbled into. It just highlights that chilling proximity of the unknown, how easily our ordinary lives can intersect with unimaginable darkness, makes the father's actions seem even more pivotal.
So after hearing all this, what does it mean for you listening right now? These stories, they're terrifying, no doubt, but they offer this glimpse into how unpredictable the world can be. They really highlight the power of intuition, don't they? And the importance of noticing those little details that feel off. And just the sheer random chance that can sometimes mix with the deliberate evil intent.
Absolutely. It's a potent reminder, really. We feel safe in our routines, and mostly we are. But paying attention, truly observing your surroundings, and crucially, listening to that gut feeling, it's invaluable. It isn't about living in fear, but about cultivating awareness, not questioning things that don't add up, trusting that internal alarm.
We really hope this deep dive into these very close encounters has maybe given you some new perspectives, perhaps even a heightened sense of awareness. Thank you for joining us on the deep dive. And maybe consider this. How often do we really pause? Pause and notice the small things that seem out of place in our day. What if those little moments of unease, the ones we usually brush off, are actually trying to tell us something vital? If you found this conversation compelling, maybe a bit chilling, please do consider liking this deep dive. Share it with friends who appreciate these kinds of stories. And please subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs. That way you won't miss our next exploration. We'll be back soon with another fascinating, maybe unsettling topic to unpack. Until then, stay aware, stay curious.